Welcome to WarHawk, the Red Mercury Missions. Game I've been talking about for a long time. Hard to balance the audio, because it's going to spike. The cutscenes are very important, and their audio is balanced very, very poorly with that of the gameplay. But we'll sort it out. It's worth it for WarHawk. Where else are you gonna see high quality graphics like this? That plane just slammed into a brick wall. Clearly that is what we are meant to do in this video game, titled WarHawk. So, first thing I'm gonna do is change the controls. The default is worse than aggressive mode. Music, we'll turn that down, even though it is quite solid. And difficulty levels will start with veteran difficulty, which is awkward. We'll change that later, for good reason. For now, let's launch a mission and see the best thing about WarHawk.
Commander.
This is Commander Jacek. The last strike against Creel was wiped out in less than an hour after they lost contact. I'm not losing my pilots because you can't cut through some interference. Those are my people down there, so find a way.
Commander, intelligence can't find anything on this Creel guy.
Creel's army can appear out of nowhere, set up installations, and vanish. No one knows how or why. I don't like mysteries, Corporal. They have a way of killing people. Make sure that ship's 110% ready. If Creel's army really has these super weapons, I want as much data as I can get. This will be close enough to a suicide mission as it is.
Look at that tiny door those guys had to squeeze through.
Hatch, Walker, you've read the mission briefs. Creel's army keeps popping up all over the place. The last time they showed up, Strike Force Alpha went after them.
There wasn't enough of them left to fill a Boy Scout troop.
Creel's forces didn't even flinch.
The rest of Strike Force Omicron's already down there. Your mission's a little different. Creel's been using some kind of new fuel source, and I want you two to find it.
Nothing like a little search and destroy, right, Hatch?
Walker, you misread your briefing. I want you to go into the hot zone and bring that fuel source back. Lock it down and power it up. We have a priority 1 launch.
Okay, so we need a red box, and then we win. And we heard about Creel, who is like an evil warlord who apparently can set up his base of operations with impossible alacrity. He goes to a place, he already has his whole army there, somehow. We had to figure out how. More importantly, we had to steal his red box. This mission can be a little confusing. You want to blow up these red things on top of the pillars. But obviously, completing this mission makes it obvious that from now on, we just want to look for anything that is flashing in red. Blow it up. And that'll probably progress us to another part of the mission. Words to live by in any video game, really. The thing about WarHawk is it is incredibly complicated, and this is effectively a blind run. I've done a little bit of practice, because you do not want to see a completely blind run in this game. This is as blind as I can make it. me try blowing these things up. No yield. My ship is all busted. My shields are regenerating, but very slowly. Sound glitch. Those happened a lot in early SingleTrac games. Shouldn't happen too often. Oh, we're down. No surprise there, but we have extra lives.
You guys okay?
Think so. What happened?
Emergency teleport. Tough to pull off without a telepad, but we got lucky this time. We scraped this ship together out of salvage. There should be enough power to complete your mission.
Extra lives with in-canon explanations for what's going on here in this slightly sci-fi world. We are in first-person view by default every time we start a level, which gets kind of rough. Obviously, extra lives are finite, and we do not want to use them in the first level of the game. But everything we've destroyed stays destroyed here in the second loop here. Like, we actually teleported out and then came back. So the damage we did the first time stays done. You don't have to redo anything. Extra lives are actually incredibly powerful. I left an orb over here. I'm gonna go collect it now. Completely recovers all my shields and restores any HP that I lost. You start losing HP once your shields are destroyed. There we go. The red pillars are down. And an evil pyramid emerges with an Illuminati eyeball at the top. Shooting red lasers all over the place. Now this is a case where a flashing red, like, signifier does not mean destroy that thing. Because the eyeball in the center is flashing red, but we need to destroy the power cells down at the base of the thing. That will depower the Illuminati eyeball. Obviously, the shield at the front of the ship is the hardest to maintain. And when it starts to take damage, our radar goes out, then our pilots die, and it's bad. So, if we go slow enough, we convert into a VTOL instead of a jet. And we can hover in place and do all sorts of great stuff. The controls change completely when you convert to that VTOL. So, like I said, it's incredibly complicated.
We barely got you guys. Prepare for immediate reinsertion.
Another emergency teleport to safety, but it's getting more and more difficult each time we die. So we should probably avoid dying any further. Sticking to first person view simply because it's the default. One of my engines was damaged. Doesn't matter now, though. Now we can enter the pyramid and get the red box. Fly the hell out of here. Mission complete. Barely. I had the skin of my teeth. No points for scraping by, though. If you get through, you win.
Don't bother getting out. Your ship's rearmed and they're unloading the canister you brought back now. There's another site about 50 clicks out that's shrouded in that same interference you just left.
Creel's forces? Wait a minute, you're sending us out there again?
You got a better idea, Walker? It's a canyon zone. Your ship's the most maneuverable one we've got left. And that weird interference is blocking everything. I need a status report.
So that was our first of 6 levels. They immediately throw us into another one. I didn't even show off the other weapons, but swarmers are very reliable. But a finite resource. We have 24 of them, as indicated in the lower left. Snake through this canyon carefully. I'm using my afterburner to stay at near max speed. The bar on the far left indicates our speed. Those mines have much, much larger hitboxes than they appear to have, so I should shoot them down instead of trying to sneak past them. I'm used to much more recent games. Graphics indicate hitboxes. Okay. We got like a weird computer in the center of the room. That is essentially a boss. Let's blow it up. Well, that thing, now we cannot be harmed from this angle. Good stuff. Switch to non-homing missiles. I'm just going to manually aim at each of the panels on the computer. Again, cannot be harmed while I'm doing this. Switch to hover mode. No enemies coming up behind me. Very good. These 2 laser bars in front of me are generating a force field that I cannot penetrate until this computer dies. Hitboxes aren't fantastic. Yeah, I'm either shooting debris or shooting through the computer that I'm trying to hit. There we go. Robot down. Now the enemies can hit me again. Repeat, as necessary. There goes frontal shields. Shields out one of the wings. They take forever to come back, so that's not really to be relied upon. Slam into a wall. That's one way to slow down. Radar's gone. We are not long for this world. But here's another computer. I'm gonna sneak over here. Hide behind this rock. I did not hide well enough. Not gonna wait for my shields to regenerate because that would take too long. At this point, it wouldn't really matter. We don't have our radar. And that is not coming back. I think if we pick up a repair orb, we'll get our radar back. As soon as I peek out around the corner, I take a ton of hits. But clearly this rock is designed in such a way that you're supposed to hide behind it and peek over and snipe the enemy. Weapons are controlled with the face buttons in this game. I've talked about how it's mind-bending to switch from, like, Twisted Metal 2 to Twisted Metal Black, because there's very subtle differences in the control schemes. This game feels a little bit like Twisted Metal, but everything about the control scheme is completely different from any Twisted Metal game. So having those subtle differences is, like, compounded many times over. It's a hard game to control, and that was my third death. We only have 3 lives. The WarHawk smashes against the high canyon walls, but Hatch and Walker are able to eject, suffering only minor injuries. Evading capture through the use of treacherously narrow hidden trails, the two emerge days later. They discover a world that has been vastly transformed, Creel, using the reality warping power of Red Mercury, has shaped the world into his own insane image. Survivors of the war live a nightmarish existence in a plague-ridden world dominated by gigantic mechanical monsters and Creel's ever-present face. So that's how modern reality happened. That's one of our endings. And it mentioned like narrow winding paths because it was specific to the level we played and the way that we died. There are dozens of epilogues to this game, all reliant on the manner in which you die and where you die. It's like bafflingly granular. Pretty impressive for a PS1 game. So let's change the difficulty. I'm not a veteran, not even slightly. I am an ace, but for some reason, ace is higher than veteran. Granny is easy difficulty, so turns out I'm a granny. That's fine. It's supposed to shame me, but it does not like lock you out of progress the way Twisted Metal 2 does. So that is how we will play the remainder of this game. There's also special access here. And if I'm not mistaken, let me try this. Password should take me... I mean, it's all password paste. There's no saving in this game. When you die, you canonically die. Password should take me to the checkpoint where I left off. Yeah. Granted, this is the first computer we killed. And it is not killed, so we're not exactly where we left off, but we're on a lower difficulty. We're ready for this. Use our machine guns to line up our shot. According to the instruction manual, our machine guns fire 1,500 rounds per second. So, that right there, that is 1,500 rounds. Count them. Every second. 1,500. The only reason it might not seem that way is because it's so hard to count that high so quickly. But if you pause the video, I guarantee that is 1,500. The only difference that difficulty levels seem to make is the amount of damage you take. So we should have our shields last much, much, much longer. And when they give out, we should have way more HP on each quadrant of our ship. Which I need, obviously. It's flight controls. Where down moves you up moves you down. Yeah, like, this game is made by developers who, they do actual real-world flight sims. I think they worked in, like, making flight sims for legitimate military training purposes before joining SingleTrac as developers. So what they know is... like, reality. If you ask them how many shots an actual machine gun fired from a airplane, they would probably be able to tell you at the time that they were working in that field. What they don't know is sci-fi, and this is a sci-fi video game. Written by Mike Giam, co-creator of Twisted Metal. So the numbers are very silly. The technobabble explanations for all of our technology is hilarious. I can't really dig into it because the manual is 49 pages long. And it is loaded to the brim with constant nonsense information. I keep switching my weapons instead of firing them. I like having up and down be like hitch in flight controls, but they're also up and down in the VTOL controls, which feels kind of backwards. That's less intuitive. But I typically invert up and down when I'm playing anything, so partially used to it. So we can turn and we can swerve side to side, all with different buttons on our controller. Basically, if you feel like you should be able to do it, you can do it in this game. I can, like, look to each side and down. That is by holding either both shoulder buttons on the left side or the right side, or both triggers to look down. Frankly, these are brilliant controls. Like, this is an unbelievably well-designed game from a control standpoint. But a very, very complicated game. This game does feature one control scheme that does not have inverted the axis. So for the people who prefer to have up mean up, there is one option for you. Whereas I get 3 options. I believe it is a variant of the aggressive control scheme, though, which is my preferred control scheme. So you get the good control scheme with your preferred axes. So I'm going to take things very slowly, but not as slowly as one could. Mastery of this game must be, like, incredibly impressive. A 1 credit clear on Ace difficulty has gotta be a thing of beauty to behold. I cannot do that. This is, like I said, effectively a blind run. All the trees through the canyon. And find another supercomputer. The L and R shoulders give us a hard bank to each direction. Get rid of that thread over here. Gives us a full shield refill. A little low on some of my ammo. We will have to make it work. Our machine gun alone can make it work. I mean, it fires 1,500 shots per second. What can stand up to that? Absolutely nothing. Swarm missiles actually doing pretty good work here. We have swarmer missiles, lock-ons, and just regular rockets. They all have different behaviors, different ammo counts. I have 1 swarmer remaining. For safety, I'll go grab that shield orb eventually. Controls are floaty, because they should be. They're literally floating. It is, again, realistic to the way a jet would work. Maintains its momentum when you swerve sharply, so you need to compensate for that. Otherwise, how are you going to fly a jet? Because this is legitimately designed to be training for how to fly a jet in the military. Okay. Like, the twist ending of Snakes on a Plane is Kenan Thompson takes over the role of pilot for the plane and guides them to safety because he played so many video games. And if this was the video game he was playing, I'd honestly believe it, that he could do that. SingleTrac for making snakes on a plane. Makes sense. Get rid of these mines. I could have squeezed through the gap there, but why do that? We're supposed to be playing in first person. You're supposed to play this entire game in first person view. But I find that incredibly vomit-inducing. We just showed off first person view in Twisted Metal 1 recently. And it's bad. Wikipedia records this game as having been released 5 days after Twisted Metal 1. So Twisted Metal 1 was their first game. This is technically, according to history, the second game by SingleTrac. But, because, just, that makes no sense, even. Like, why would they release games 5 days apart? That's not how release dates work. So I think they were probably released on the same day or like maybe like a month apart. It's hard to say. But they were released in very, very, very close succession to one another. Early on in development, they were literally the same game. Exact same engine, just different features. And then at some point they made a completely different engine for WarHawk. But early on in development, they like actually put the WarHawk ship into Twisted Metal levels so you could fly it around. Simply because they could. It was useful for testing purposes at the time. Our non-homing missiles fire very, very rapidly. They can be useful for a lot of situations where you have a stationary target. For example, a gigantic computer suspended in between walls of a canyon. Now, our radar indicates with flashing red lights where our red boxes are. Getting them is a real pain. But we'll pull it off, eventually. If we touch any of the walls, we bounce all over the place. Like that. Floors or walls. We got it. Mission over. That's a pretty hard one on veteran difficulty. Clearly very manageable on granny difficulty. Whole game should be manageable, even for me, a total amateur.
Good job down there. But before you cleaned out that canyon, a messenger got out. We tracked it to a cloaked transport over the Pacific.
Transport? Now, why is that the last thing I wanted to hear?
It's not good. It's not good at all.
The lab boys analyzed the sample you brought back from the pyramid. We think Creel built those mysterious bases to get it.
So they're mining this...
Red Mercury. Analysis IDs it as part of a classified government project that was aborted and supposedly shot into space. Somebody lied. Creel's been digging it up. No one knows much about it, but it's rated as a Class 1 threat.
And this transport, it's its carrier.
The Internationals will run interference. I want you to cripple that transport and get its cargo.
Begging the commander's pardon, but are you crazy? One ship up against a whole transport convoy? How about a little support from the rest of the force?
Mr. Walker, you were at the pyramid in the canyon. How many ships did you see come back?
Nicely done, Walker.
Well, you know, I'm doing the best I can.
Walker does have a point. Why are we going in alone? Another drawback of first-person view is every time you get hit, the screen flashes red. Which, sorry about that. That is a nightmare. But here we have Sector Z. In reverse, sort of. I'm going to compare everything in this game to Star Fox, because that's my point of reference. So, as far as I know, Jaffe is not in the credits in this game, but I'm going to look something up real quick. In the instruction manual, which I have right here. Let's see. Not this one. Okay, Commander Jasik. Slightly similar to Jaffe, and they do love referencing developers in their studio when they make these games. Can't rule out that that's an intentional reference, but apparently Jaffe had nothing to do with this game. And also, like, the production values on the FMVs in this game are so much better than in Twisted Metal 1. It's kind of unbelievable. This game was not supposed to be... Well, this game was supposed to be their big breakout. Twisted Metal was like kind of a bad idea that they wanted to bury. They felt they could not execute it properly and had really beefed it. So they were all ready to forget about it, but they were happy to have this game in reserve. Turns out, Twisted Metal was the one everyone liked, because it wasn't unbelievably difficult to control. Very satisfying to control. This is a legitimately really impressive, really fun game. But the surgical precision I have to deal with right now to get this canister of Red Mercury is rough. Grabbing some causes the ship to transform into a deadlier ship. I've been ignoring the ship so far. I wonder if that would have happened if I had gotten the other Red Mercury canisters first. So that was only 3. We need 8 this time. On easy difficulty, we can just ignore many of the threats. This door opens and closes periodically, which is a strange way to design your ships. Randomly opening sphincters scattered throughout. Back into the skies. We got gun encampments underneath the ship, turrets on top. A lot going on here. There's a flash bomb that I picked up there that will clear the screen of projectiles, but not hurt anybody. Damn it. There. I didn't mean to use it, and again, sorry about the flashing. I didn't realize this game was so bad with the flashing lights. But it is pretty bad. Yeah, I like the FMVs in this game. They're super cheesy, but like better than Twisted Metal's. Being better is not necessarily a good thing when it comes to cheesy FMVs. Twisted Metal's cheesy FMVs are incredibly charming and delightful. How do I kill this whale ship? Let's see. It gives me a lock-on right in the center. So I just keep hammering at it? Looks like I just keep hammering at it. Down it goes. Regular Hindenburg. With a canister inside. Which means we should do the same with the other whale ship. And completely ignore the gigantic cruiser in the center of this formation. Parts of our swarmer can miss, which is a bit annoying. Need to rely on lock-on. Just not as accurate as one would hope. It's about as accurate as Twisted Metal lock-on. One down. sink. And rob it. There we go. I can even get the shield orb up here. The turret I broke. There are a lot of things that are just designed to break, so that you can get healing items and stuff. It's pretty generous, actually. That ain't it. The controls to pan down are also things you might want to do. Let's see. Fine, I'll shoot this turret. This thing here's red. Maybe I should blow that up. Yep, apparently I should have. We spawned reinforcements, but open up the back of the ship. There are more whale ships I'm seeing. But the first part of the battleship had 3 canisters in it. Now we open up the second part of the battleship. There we go. Down and up inverted. Stuck on a bit of the platform. We're supposed to use right trigger to accelerate, left trigger to decelerate, and X for afterburner. I just use X to accelerate, and it makes you accelerate very, very quickly and kind of out of control. But it's better than having to deal with 2 shoulder buttons. Can I get this thing? Okay, I got the thing. Flashing lights in here. Poorly maintained area, unfortunately. As if there wasn't enough flashing in this level and in this entire game. There we go, I'm seeing a third one. Mission complete. You don't even have to leave. I accidentally chose the most efficient path through this level, I think. That was, what, the 3rd level? Out of 6?
Creel's army immediately launched a series of worldwide attacks when that transport went down.
Good. Sounds like we heard him.
That ship was carrying the largest supply of Red Mercury yet. And we projected its intended destination to this point.
It's a very scenic view there, Commander.
Creel's forces crippled our satellite uplinks. We think his main research facility is somewhere on or near this island.
Careful, don't make it too easy for us.
Can it, Walker? Since Creel went on the attack and the existence of that Red Mercury has become known, some countries are discussing atomic sanctions.
Oh, that's nice.
If we don't get those canisters from Creel, we could be facing full-scale nuclear war.
Let's get that bird off the ground. We got a long day ahead of us.
Gotta have the sarcastic guy. We gotta play as him, of course. And the open contempt all the characters have for one another is, not unexpected. I don't know about sick of it. I'm seeing red, so I'm gonna shoot it. Whilst being shot. Nothing is happening. This might be bad news. I have no radar now, my shield is cracked, oh, my windshield. I might have picked the wrong red thing to shoot at. I still have lives, I think. But I accomplished nothing there. I completely wasted that
You
life.
guys okay?
Think so. What happened?
Emergency teleport.
Oh well.
Tough to pull off without a telepad. But
If we have to game over to figure out what's going on here,
Ship together out of salvage. There should be enough power to
we
complete
will
your
do that,
mission.
and then we'll see an epilogue for what happens when you die on the volcano. certainly curious. There's a cheat code to watch all the epilogues. Just back to back to back. And even just scrolling through all the epilogues and not watching them takes forever. Actually watching them is an unbelievably arduous task. But good for knowing what you missed. If you're that much of a completionist. What's this thing? Super Swarmers. Guess I should have grabbed this sooner. Look at that. Clouds in the sun. Forming a Rorschach test. That's why it looks so vulgar and obscene. I should take that off the screen. Lest I have to censor this video. Does Super Swarmers do anything here? They appear to have done something. Shields are going down again. But the tower went down. Hey, there's a canister in there. So, do only upgraded swarmers take down the towers? And if so, I don't have enough swarmers. That could be a problem. Maybe these other towers have additional ammunition. Let's find out. Meanwhile, we can talk about Red Mercury, which is an actual thing. In that it is not an actual thing. It is a real-world hoax related to nuclear panic and the nuclear arms race. Because nuclear weapon construction is such a well-guarded secret, no one actually knows what is in nuclear weapons. So, there were claims that one of the things that is in nuclear weapons, required in the construction thereof, is called Red Mercury. But any claims of what is Red Mercury have been proven false. They've just been common compounds completely unrelated to nuclear weapon manufacture. And no information about what Red Mercury actually could be has ever been uncovered by anybody. So, everyone believes it does not actually exist. It is unobtainium. But good for disinformation. And also, it was sold on the black market numerous times to people who assumed that it did exist and wanted to build nuclear weapons. But it doesn't exist, so they are ripped off. But in this game, it is real, and it is giving the supervillain unstoppable powers, which we must now stop by stealing the Red Mercury. Should I do anything with the Volcano? I assume not, much as I'd like to fly in there. Seems lethal. Let's go back under the cloud cover. Which is a really cool effect, actually. I would not have expected this in a PS1 game, particularly an extremely early PS1 game. This game is from November of 1995. The PS1 launched in September of 1995. Hey, gun upgrade. So, this is practically a launch title, in the sense that there were very few actual launch titles. This was in development before launch. And it's one of the most impressive technical achievements on the entire console. Released 2 months after the console came out. Like, that is astounding. Such an early 3D game. So good. Just playing it is impressive enough. The fact that it is, like, such a pioneer in the concept of 3D gaming makes it all the more so. What am I at? 3? I'm halfway there. Yeah, once I got this figured out, it was pretty easy. The volcano is constantly spewing ash onto my screen. But I'm compensating. It only lasts for a couple seconds. The whole reason I wanted to play this game was, first, someone told me it was an FMV game. That got me interested in it for the first time, even though I've been talking about this game for like 6 years at this point. Never had any actual interest in it. So I never really looked up what it was all about. I thought it was an actual game where you played as like real helicopters. But I heard it was FMV game. I looked that up. Was intrigued. I cannot see. The volcano has gone berserk. And I am diving towards the ground. Apparently my engines have been blown out. I'm taking too much rear damage. So that could be a bit of a problem. But, so I finally looked it up, like, a month ago. And, I saw that Wikipedia said reviews at the time of release were overwhelmingly positive. Those were the words they used. I've never seen Wikipedia say that about any video game ever that I've looked up. They will often say generally positive or very positive. This was the first time I've ever seen a game that Wikipedia said was overwhelmingly positively received. So at that point, had to play it. And it earns those extremely high marks. It's pretty complicated. It's not beginner friendly. And it is short, which in my book is a good thing for my purposes. I do intend to play the entire game right now. But it encourages replay in a manner we will see later on. It takes some getting used to, which adds to the length of the playtime. It has multiple difficulty levels for if you want to actually get good at it. But I too thought this was just a footnote in like the company that developed Twisted Metal. Yeah, this was a big deal. It's not remembered, but it was a big deal at time of release. It is still a bit of a big deal. I am dying. The central thing exploded on top of the volcano here. Revealing some stuff, but my cockpit's about to explode. My radar's gone, so I can't locate the Red Mercury anymore. I don't think these lasers are doing anything, but I gotta eject. I think I have one life left. When I plug the volcano, it should just be a matter of going back in and collecting the Red Mercury. Let's find out.
I barely got you guys.
Yep. Oh, did it recharge? What has happened here? I think it recharged. Interesting. I care not for your gimmicks. Nope. blast them into oblivion. Okay, broke one of my weapons. I'm still in first person. And I don't really know where Red Mercury is. Do I dive into the volcano now? Let's see. Red Mercury should be right in front of me right now. I think that's it. Okay, I can't get in there. Bring out my swarmers. Fire them. Die. Die right into the volcano. WarHawk plunges into the ocean. Salty water pouring into the cockpit through the shattered canopy. We're taking in water. We need to leave now. Two officers escape the WarHawk and swim against the violent undertow created by their sinking fighter. Finally, exhausted, they make it to the jagged shore of a volcanic column. So Hatch, Walker asks, eyeing a gunboat in the distance. Who do you think will reach us first, Jacek or Creel? I think we all know the answer to that question. Another game over. No surprise. But we can hop right into the end of this mission, I think. I think I'll still have to reveal the Red Mercury that I collected previously. We'll see. I'm not going to take any guesses at this. They will only prove my ignorance. Let's see how this works out. There's the boss, apparently. Down I go for some reason. What am I even supposed to do against this thing? The camera does follow our ship all the way down to the ocean, which is pretty cool. And this is a SingleTrac boss, alright. Real, almost impossible pain in the ass. Radar's already gone. I think I can get it back if I blow up this thing. But I can't blow up this thing. And it wasn't one of the ones that had a shield in it anyway. Off I go again. There's my cockpit. Separating from the ship and floating away. I fared much better against this boss the first time, actually. Pretty sure we're still on easy difficulty, but I might want to double check. I think what I did the first time was shoot out a lot of its missile launchers from a distance, making the boss safer to approach, resulting in much less damage on my way in there. Let's see if there's a different ending with the cockpit ejected. I'm sure there will be. As Jacek watches the WarHawk sink into the water, she realizes that the situation has become hopeless. Although her reputation as a tenacious fighter is widespread, she knows that it is only a matter of time before she must surrender to Creel's might. She ponders the treatment that she will receive at the hands of her captors, and is unable to face this prospect. She opens a secret compartment and removes a lone cyanide capsule. Taking a deep breath, she places it in her mouth and performs her final duty. As death takes her, her final thoughts are of Hatch and Walker. 3 days later, Hatch and Walker's bloated bodies slowly rise to the surface, their body armor no longer able to keep them in their watery grave. The seabirds feast upon their tenderized flesh until the sharks move in to finish the job, crunching through their armor and ripping them to pieces. What little is left sinks to the bottom for a second time, never to rise again. Oh my fucking god. Mike Giam, you sick bastard. These epilogues sure are something. They want you to feel bad. They are bad endings to a very bleak game. T-rated. Apparently you can describe unfathomable gore. You just can't show it. I still don't have a great idea what to do with this boss. Did some damage. I'm gonna go look for a shield recovery. And even if I don't find it, I will probably recover some shield naturally over time. Maybe that'll be enough. Nothing. Do items stop spawning here in the second phase? Seems like that might be the case. Okay, there's swarmers. My controls are out. Yeah, I blew up everything but the progress towers, so that's all I'm gonna get up here. I think I also might not have upgraded weapons, which would be a bit of a problem. Yeah, I think that's my weapon upgrade. So first thing, when I inevitably die, game over again, is get those upgrades. Looks like this boss is dead. It is constantly exploding. Like, what else am I supposed to do to this thing? Let's find out. Hopefully I still have my upgrade. Because the enemy certainly has the remainder of its stuff gone. How are you holding on? Can't believe I even have a radar. Okay, that's our game over. Apparently I needed to blow up those other, things. Those other panels on the backside. Oh, I had another life. News to me. Let's go blow up these panels from a distance. Gonna lock on. Dodge. Hey, it's dead. The volcano still is spewing lava. Might be in a position to clean this up still. This is taking more shots than I expect. Did I lose my upgrade again? Here's one thing we need. Maybe the volcano will stop spewing lava once these things are dead. Like, these towers do spray out lava once they are destroyed. So, perhaps what we're doing is depressurizing the volcano itself by sending the lava in other directions. The volcano is fully depressurized. We can enter it. Steal the Red Mercury inside. So this particular weapon is much easier to aim in first person, which I'm not using for the sake of viewers. If I were to play this solo without recording it, I would probably play first person pretty frequently. That said, like, we can barrel roll in this game. And in first person view, like, you get to see that. And it is hard to watch. Using my tail again. Not a shield upgrade. But I do have upgraded swarmers, so that will speed things up. Give me a shield orb. I know there's one in one of these things. Lock-ons, yeah. Twisted Metal style, like, weapon recovery system. Where you need to go physically touch an object floating in the world, and it looks so much better than the ones that Twisted Metal do. That's a machine gun upgrade. Haven't really been using my machine guns, but that's fine. You're welcome not to use them. I don't want to make this too easy with my 1,500 rounds per second. So hoping that would be a shield. What is that thing? Some kind of beetle ship floating in the water. Okay, that's an enemy. It's hard to tell. With the fog of war. Okay, machine gun's fairly effective now that it's upgraded. Now imagine how hard this would be with, like, the double damage that we receive on veteran difficulty. And how much harder it is beyond that on ace difficulty, which I haven't even attempted. But I assume it is incredibly gruesome. Yeah, this is definitely an oddity, but ultimately it's less weird than Twisted Metal. It's a game where you fly a futuristic spaceship in a futuristic world. Top Gun, sci-fi. We've all seen this story before. It makes sense to our brain, whereas a magic man grants you a wish if you crash your car into 11 other people. The best. That is not a thing that the world has ever seen outside of Twisted Metal. We're just kind of used to Twisted Metal at this point. This is a blind playthrough. I've never seen beyond this moment that we're at right now. I would prefer not to die, if at all possible. Please have the shield orb inside you. One of these damn things had a shield orb, and I can't find it. I think I've blown up every single one now. I still haven't found it, so I'm not going to find it. They reused the missile firing sound effect for the menus in Twisted Metal 1. But if it actually is the sound of any missiles firing, it's so subtle in-game that I actually have never heard it. Still not a shield orb. I had to play this game for a few hours just to get the controls down well enough that this won't take like 12 hours to beat. Damn it. My cockpit's gonna explode. Cannot believe I haven't found a shield orb yet. Maddening. The shield at the front is just so hard to maintain. I have some swarmers because I've blown up every single one of the turrets, and some of them had swarmers inside. Let's use those. Make our lives a little bit easier. As I look for the remaining platform. There should only be one. My swarmers are upgraded at that, so they're pretty strong. Something crashed in the water there. Or emerged from the water. It's got submarines too, this Creel guy. Creel, by the way, is the name of Dollface's boss in Twisted Metal Black. The man who made her into Dollface. One more canister. That should be the last platform. Let's double check. But we should have depressurized the volcano. Nope. That looks like one more. I need missiles for this. Try and defend our shields. Is that a shield orb? My god, it's a shield orb. Thing of beauty. How long I have waited for thee. That was weird. Walker and Hatched did a little flourish there, but I think we're ready to enter the volcano. In VTOL mode. I still can't enter the volcano. Damn it. What do I do here? Something is generating a shield. Really defending these particular Red Mercury canisters. So these are about the only things I haven't killed yet. Let's kill them. They really are giant beetles. I thought I was just seeing what I wanted to see, but no. Giant beetles. Got flash bomb in here. Can I squeeze in? No, not in this mode. If I were a jet, I could squeeze in. That's fine. That suggests that there might be other things at the base of these platforms. There's another silly made-up material that one of our weapons functions off of. This game loves its sci-fi jargon that it doesn't fully understand. We definitely need to get in that volcano. The radar says so. Got another beetle. We got two beetles, maybe? Shoot my sides all you want. It's fine. The beetle. They have specific death animations, which indicates I'm doing something. Damn it. He shot out my tail. That area is too hot. Now to look into the volcano itself. Ironically. Okay, I'm above the volcano where I don't want to be. Still shielded. Beetles aren't helping me. Yet. There are further beetles. Good lord. A lot just happened. There are still missiles firing out of the water. I suspected those might have been indicating where beetles are. Maybe not. That looks like a shield orb. I desperately need a shield orb right now. That's a shield orb. Yes. This game could easily be in the same universe as Twisted Metal. Or perhaps Twisted Metal Black, where Creel ascended from making masks and became an evil despot. Where the hell is the volcano? How am I not able to find a volcano? Okay, it's directly below me somehow. No, it's directly in front of me. It had not loaded in. This is a very early PS1 game. I still can't get in. Seeing Red Mercury somewhere in front of me somehow? Seeing more beetles. I, at this point, no longer think that the beetles are helping me at all. Like they're just another threat. Which is otherwise not useful for progress. Let's see. I won't assume there would be an on-screen indication when the volcano opens up. Which still has not occurred. Maybe somewhere at the base of the volcano. Normally that's the case. The beetle. Now the volcano's a solid object, and when we get too close, the textures disappear. What else can we even do? I can shoot the remaining ships. Red dots on the map indicate where enemy fire is coming from. There's another beetle. Let me real quick do what one does when they are lost in a PS1 game. Check the instruction manual. So, general tips, nonsense. There's a level-by-level breakdown. Unfortunately, it's going to have some minor spoilers, but painful array of sub-launched weaponry. Yeah, this just talks about how difficult the level is. That doesn't help me at all. Let me check. There's a very complicated techniques. We can do an Immelman turn if we get it just right. Loop-de-loops. Profoundly complicated control scheme for this game. Okay, radar. Mobile ground targets. Stationary threats. What I was hoping was that they would say, like, this color indicates a plot-relevant thing that you need to break. A PS1 game cannot be that generous. It is against the law. Careful. Such a pain to kill this boss, too. Can't believe there's this much more level after the boss's death. Yeah, I can't go in there. I keep trying. So, as chat suggested, it's off to Google. Let's see. How do we penetrate the impenetrable force field? Obviously, it wants to give me YouTube tutorials. Last thing I need right now. But I found the game FAQ. As though this game's controls weren't counterintuitive enough. They also just have to obfuscate what you're supposed to do at any given time. Level 4, the Volcano. The game FAQ doesn't say anything about this force field. Did I soft lock the game by using the password to get here? This is baffling. Okay, so this is not useful to me at all. Unsurprisingly. If you ever used game FAQs for anything, you know that the average FAQ is not useful for anything. And I'm not seeing any other FAQs available. Cheats and secrets and whatnot. Well, my other alternative choice here is I have the password for the next level. So I'm just gonna treat this level as having been completed, since it appears to be in an uncompletable state. And I don't know why. We are going to die horribly. Use the password. Just move on to the next level. I think I might have soft locked it by killing the boss and then killing the towers that are supposed to initiate the boss. Which is something that using the password allows. As a last-ditch effort, we'll shoot the force field itself. Too late. I'm dead. That was my last life. We skip the remainder of this level. No big loss. Yeah, it seemed to do nothing. Like, why would it do anything? It's a force field. You don't shoot those things down. So... on to the Gauntlet level. Hooray, we beat the Volcano. We earned it.
What the hell is going on down there?
Don't know, don't care. Let the lab boys figure it out. They're downloading scanner data now. Got bigger fish to fry.
What's the mission, Commander?
That's Creel's main stronghold. It's the closest our agents could get. Creel's forces were just too tough.
Tell me about it.
He's pulled out all the stops, launching major offensives worldwide. Every national force is engaged. We drew the prime ticket. We get to dig him out of his hole.
What does that old saying about cornered animals come to mind?
The mothership is maneuvering into low orbit over the base. We can cycle just enough power to punch a telepad beam through the Red Mercury interference. While his forces attack us, we'll transport you to the main fortress itself, somewhere on or near the outer wall.
Does that U include air support?
That U barely includes your ship's wings. Besides, we'll need everything we've got to run decoy for you. It's up to you to take out Creel.
Oh. No pressure.
Cycle auxiliary powers to the teleporters. Prepare for final transport.
For a second, it looked like they had developed a begrudging respect for one another, but no, they still seem to hate one another. Hey, we're playing The Descent. What we've all been looking forward to. This might be nigh impossible to control in not first-person view, but I'll give it a shot. Is this the thing I gotta shoot? Or is it a scary pyramid head monster at the center of a creepy hallway? Anything's possible. This, for the record, to reiterate, very, very early PS1 game. One of the first 3D games ever to be put out on a console. It's allowed to have some easily achieved soft locks, which we can then cheat our way out of. That's one of the ways video games in this era added replay value and game duration. Because otherwise this game's like 2 hours long. This is a ridiculous structure that we found ourselves in. There. Through that door. Through another door. This is actually the final level of Star Fox 64. WarHawk predicted this too. Careful. Where am I going here? Down, down, down. There's only one Red Mercury container that we need. I believe every single level is completed by getting the Red Mercury. Up. That's probably going to take me back to the beginning. There were multiple doors here at the beginning. Would other things have happened if I had chosen a different door? I kind of want to keep my radar so as to find the Red Mercury more easily. We want to keep some momentum going, but obviously not too much, so we can time our way through the doors. But if you don't have enough, getting through the doors is almost impossible. So far, this looks exactly the same as going through the door we went through the first time. Getting smushed doesn't seem to matter. Wait, oughta. Uh-oh. Punched by a piston. At least there's no enemies here in this particular room. I'm saving my ammo, since I'm just going to be flying past these other supposed enemies. I'm going to try not to blow them up. But Music here is awfully Castlevania-y. And the level is pretty Castlevania-y. This is surprisingly only the second to last level, but it feels pretty climactic. The final level might just be a boss fight or something like that. Well, there goes my controls. And I think I'm still on top of a flame jet. Ugh. So hitboxes are much, much, much larger than they appear to be. That's fine though. I'm seeing... Okay, there's a third head, but it's closed. And a fourth head. Ditto. That said, there might actually be two branches to this level. Two incredibly similar branches. I'm gonna keep exploring. I expect to get a game over here before we complete anything. Let's find out. Incredibly low frame rate door. Nothing in this building makes any sense. Why would these structures exist? Why would you make a pyramid-shaped turret to attack things in these structures? We do keep calling Creel insane, and that is about the extent of the explanation we get. Red Mercury has given him, like, time-warping powers that allow him to, explore his wildest fantasies. It's definitely a bit Death Star-ish. I say as someone who's never seen Star Wars. That's right, I'm the one. I don't think I like this route very much. But the other route is the one that killed me, so there we go. This is a difficult level. But it's the penultimate level. Silently, the two prisoners are marched into Creel's throne room. Bound in chains, Hatch and Walker glare defiantly at their captor. Ah, here are the two heroes, Creel laughs. I really must thank you. Earlier today, I began to fear that my takeover would be completely unopposed. I really did enjoy our little game. Unfortunately, it must end now. I'm really rather busy. However, I will allow you to witness the destruction of your pathetic defensive force and the subjugation of all the world governments before you die. Hatch and Walker close their eyes before Creel's laughter. Much, much less morbid than the alternate ending in the Volcano. Still pretty horrific. This is called the Gauntlet. So we might have to do multiple extremely difficult things in a row, which is the typical definition of a gauntlet. I had less luck with that round. Let's try this round. Again. Going too fast, given the nature of this series of rooms. Didn't trust that door, but I certainly could have made it. Got shot in the back for my caution. So close. Anytime you go through that door, it's going to be really close. Either success or a very narrow loss. Okay, bouncing off of walls is actually helping me navigate here. Don't try that at home. Don't bounce your jet off of walls when you're flying it around. will not have a jet for much longer. This jet turns into a VTOL when it slows down. Yeah, you really don't need to watch Star Wars anymore. Because, like, we all know the references. Camera. Please come with me. Camera got stuck on something. I should have blown up those tanks at the beginning of the room. But we've seen those tanks on the other side of this set of mouths. Meaning the final room appears to be guarded by tanks.
You guys okay?
So we destroy those first when we find them. Should be pretty manageable. Because they're right next to a vertical tunnel that we can duck into to dodge their shots. And then we can safely travel through that room. The fire room. Right now the game's basically playing itself. Finally got stopped. This game might be a really impressive one to consider speedrunning. Really, really difficult one. Even just basic controls are quite a challenge, for me at least. I'm starting to get the hang of them, but we're on easy mode, and I'm still struggling. So getting the hang of them is relative. Got my swarmers. Line up to where I know one of the tanks is going to be. Get ready to unload. Good lock on. Okay. Now to go through the fire hell. I creep over this way. I believe the hitboxes are completely square. Ugh. They deal a lot of damage, like per frame damage. We do have to fly over some of these jets occasionally, though not as often as it seems. Although we can take it as slow as we need. Let's see. Get slightly further here. But yeah, this is one of those things that a speedrunner could just bolt through, knowing the exact path and timing of all the cycles. Make it look really impressive. Seeing more pyramids. Another set of these things. Got my tail crushed in the door, but not being fired at. Just taking it easy. Hopefully I don't have to do the fire room again. Or in reverse, that would be worst case scenario. There we go. Bounced our way through. Another set of doors. This is an extremely long hallway. I guess when you have unlimited resources and unlimited time, this is the sort of thing you can make. You're a weird warlord in the near future. Careful. This looks like a boss. To get a bead on it. Okay. Oh, we're very briefly in a safe spot. That should be a checkpoint. Let's find out. Checkpoint. This is an unbelievably difficult game to one credit clear. Without reloads or anything. These reloads are extremely useful. It's probably the mouth we came in through. I can't really be sure. Looks like there's only one mouth. No, there's a red thing and then a mouth. I feel like we probably have to kill the boss. So I'm gonna very carefully slow down here. Leads its shots in a pretty clever way. More clever than you might expect. The screen flashes so much, it's hard to tell when you're actually, like, killing a thing. But this thing appears to be killed. That's a swarmer missile upgrade. Don't want that. Gotta be a reason they dropped it for me. Ooh, a shield. Okay, we need all these things. Where are the rest of the things? The red, white, and blue swarmers. The American way. And shield recharge. So I feel like the mouth is where we came in through. This is probably a shielded door that was not open until the boss died. But that looks familiar, so maybe not. Going through the mouth. Open up. This also looks familiar. God damn it. Where am I supposed to go, video game? Please tell me. Changing my decision. Midstream. Yeah, that jaw line looks familiar. I think I passed by that lower jaw thing to get to the boss. Destroy the turrets is probably a good idea. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. But it would be worth considering. If I meant for this to be a good run. Hello, fire jets. Do I have to go through the fire jets in reverse? Okay, I'm changing course again. Anything to potentially avoid the fire jets. Those bombs were definitely on the other side when I entered the boss arena. So I do think I had to go through the fire jets again. But in the off chance that that's not the case, I'm taking the other route. If there's also fire jets this way, then I will at the very least have destroyed the tanks at the other side. So there's no chance of them harassing me. Okay. Yeah, I think the fire jets were much closer when I went the other route. So I'm almost certainly backtracking now, and there's certainly more fire jets. But, whatever. What do I care? Fire jets either way, so it legitimately does not matter. There's a chance they're going to make me do fire jets with tanks going the other way, so at the very least avoided that terrible fate. It's possible the other route was like a much faster shortcut. But if they wanted that to be the case, shouldn't have put any goddamn fire jets in the way. It's their first or second game. They can be forgiven for horrible, horrible, horrible design choices like that. But this is, like, ridiculously bad. Making me backtrack after the boss. Whatever happened next should have just popped me back into the main area so that I could go the other route. I mean, we're in sci-fi time stop world. There could have been teleporters. Certainly not hard sci-fi this game. It's the softest sci-fi there's ever been. And we're back. Maybe that other path just went straight to the second boss, though. Because clearly there is a second boss. Oh well. We'll get there one way or another. One presumes I actually need to kill both bosses. Though that much cannot be verified until we have actually done so. The way checkpoints work is, when you load a checkpoint, everything that was killed is back to life, including bosses. So, like, we would have to defeat the bosses again. Both of them. If indeed both are required to be killed. Which is the definition of a gauntlet in my book. Okay. Get a little bit of shield before I peek back in there. So I don't instantly blow up. Can I get rid of that turret? Yes. Not that turret. Ultra lock-ons. That can only be good. Although I think I only have 8 lock-on missiles. That's your default starting loadout. Given that they're generally worse than swarmers, I don't know why you start with so few of them. You start with 24 swarmers. Damn it. Let me in. These sliding doors. There better not be more flame jets this route. There's more flame jets, I called it. I reverse called it by hoping there wouldn't be. Careful. Touch those flame jets. Your health melts away. You're in the most flammable vehicle ever created. Ugh, all my shields gone instantly. These flame jets are laid out in a worse way. Let's see. They balanced the non-homing missiles pretty well. You start with 100 of those. So given their efficacy, general inaccuracy, they give you as many as you would need to accomplish much of anything. Hell. We're fine. Didn't die. Technically, that's all that matters. There's a turret already trying to kill me from around the corner. Bodes well. Turret over there. Can't quite see me. And get ready to make another run onto a boss. I bet. Okay, I was stuck against the ceiling in a way I've never experienced before. I think the Pyramid Head blew up one of the mines, strangely enough. There we go. That is definitely a different boss. There's a force field in front of the door. Swarmer upgrades now, but our shields are still pretty weak. Regenerating shields are a dubious design choice because it's a waiting mechanic. It seems like you pretty much have to utilize it sometimes. God damn it. Well, down we go. Is this the same epilogue? Yes, it is. Well, let's see. We were on menus. Catch up with me here. On the East Gauntlet boss. So... how's this work out for us? Skip the cutscene and fight the boss. Which is identical to the other boss we fought. I disabled that one thing. There goes everything. Instantly. These things do a lot of damage. Just an astounding amount of damage. We'd have to, like, hit them while moving, which is difficult, given the angles available to us in this tiny room. Surely there must be a way to do it. I guess the first boss, I was able to, like, weave up and down to dodge shots. Let's see if I can do that here. Looks like the homing is way better on this one. I think we got 2 of the 4 triangles knocked off this boss. Good start. 2 of the 3 triangles, maybe? Yep. Boss is dead. So we've got Doomsdays. There was also a Doomsday inside the battleship that we gutted earlier. Careful. That to save ammo later on. Lose my wing. Let's see what happens when we go down the correct path. Takes us to flame jets more quickly. That's probably a good thing. Let's see. What is this? Breaking my engine. must carry on with one engine. We can drive it home thusly. I think my max speed has been considerably reduced. And getting smashed that time did a lot of damage to my ship. Unlike all the previous times I've gotten smashed. Here's the flame jets I fully expected. It's possible we only had to kill one of the bosses. Can't rule that out. If I touch any flame, I'm probably gonna die instantly. Because it just annihilates your shields in a moment. This path upward is very familiar. So here's how busted up our ship can look. After we've taken enormous amounts of damage to every section. Oh great, second one. I'm gonna excuse myself real quick because I was not prepared for this. Just line up a shot. And not get the kill. Better. If you have any shield, you cannot take damage until you have taken at least one full-on direct hit to get rid of the shield first. So we'll take at least 2 hits to suffer any actual damage. Okay. Tanks are gone. Oh, these flame jets. Who thought this was a good idea? And why? Mike Giam wrote this game, and he also was among like 5 designers, so he's really the Jaffe of this thing. And when things go wrong, I do feel safe blaming him. But in universe, it was obviously Bob from accounting. He said, okay, at this point, you spent your entire budget plugging up a volcano with an impenetrable force field. All we can afford at this point is fire. Just traditional fire. And it can't even be continuous fire. And we can't even put down enough to fully block progress. We're just gonna have to hope they get impatient. Charge through the fire. But little do they know, I have passwords. It's giving me infinite retries. Okay, what is this room? Another mouth. Dissimilar to ones we've seen before. Similar to ones we've seen after the boss fight. Are we actually going somewhere? What is going on in this level? There's tons of identical hallways forever. That's our fate. We've entered purgatory. Right on the border of hell, so you can see the fire emerging from below us. Uh-oh. Forgot about how gigantic the hitboxes on all the mines are. This is new. Boy, is this ever new. What is this? Okay, looks like this is the path that would have led from the other boss to where we are now. It has a hitbox and a cutscene.
I know you. I've watched as because you've disrupted my plans. You think you're heroes? You think you've stopped me? You are fools!
You are fools.
I, alone, have tapped the power of Red Mercury. I understand its true nature. With it, I am God! Now, face my divine retribution.
That's a PS1 end boss if I ever heard one. No health refill. Or anything quite so generous. What do I do here? I'm gonna equip something with homing. Go down this tube. Okay, that tube has a force field. The boss must die. I never use these plasma shots. I've had this weapon the whole game. Let's see what it does. That does not explain what it does. Never mind the plasma shots. We got a Doomsday. We no longer have a Doomsday. Let's go with old, trusty Swarmers. They got us this far. They did not get us any further. I think we still have one more respawn. Looks like it.
I barely got you guys. Prepare for immediate reinsertion.
Back into it. Lost my upgrades, but something just happened. The boss transform? Oh, gave me a machine gun upgrade. And then presumably went in here. My god. Extreme flashing lights warning, I'm gonna say, because there's a lot of flashing going on. There's a whole lot going on in general. This is some kind of nonsense horror realm we've stumbled into. The flashing effect is effective, but even more disorienting than the rest of the game has been. Wow, how high does this tower go? I cannot go any higher, there's force field, so I think I have to destroy the faces and then I can ascend further. These bug faces here. Let's blow them up. Let's see what that gets us. Hopefully it gets us shield orbs. So I can repair and survive. And I'm out of here. That was my last life.
I am rightful ruler of the earth.
That is a canonical ending, I believe. You regain consciousness as Creel's forces pull you from the WarHawk's twisted metal. In prison, you cling tenaciously to life, hoping to find some means of escape. Finally, you are pulled from your cell and taken to meet your captor face to face. Your hopes are dashed when you realize you are being taken not to Creel's court, but to his banquet hall. Your last thought as you are lashed to a post and lowered into a fiery pit is the fevered realization that you are being roasted on a spit to be served as the main course at a banquet to celebrate Creel's victory. Speaking of Silent Hill, that is the fate of Cheryl in the Silent Hill film. Spoiler alert. It took until, what, 2006 for movies to get as edgy as this 1995 video game? Pretty impressive. We are right back into Stormland, the alternate universe, where Creel reigns supreme and has a tower made of bug heads to try and destroy us. Obviously, we're supposed to do this with machine gun upgrades, probably swarmer upgrades, but loading from checkpoint like that, I do not have those things. You do have to actually get a lock-on reticle. Wow, they kill you fast. There are checkpoints for every level of this tower. And I will be using them once we ascend one level. I'm never going to do that one again. Okay. There's also these red dots that are typically indicative of stuff we gotta break. Looking at the tower minimizes the amount of flashing we have to look at, so that's nice. I'm gonna switch to something without lock-on, because I might need swarmers more later on. That seems like a good thing just happened. Let's ascend past the snakes into exactly the same setup we just dealt with. It looks like this set of towers might have higher HP, but the heads are doing a terrible job at defending them. I guess I could have ignored the bug heads all along. Losing an engine, I lost all my engines. But I think I broke another force field. Let's find out. I got another life. Just infinite quarters in the machine. Send a giant rock at me or something. Oof. Okay, this time I died instantly. This layer might be a little tough. There we go. This game has 5 endings to encourage replay value, and a new epilogue. The storm rages as your lifeless body is pried from the wreckage of Creel's command center, working with diabolical fervor. Creel's scientists reanimate your severed head and wrench the details of your battle plan from your tortured mind. With this new information, Creel is able to mount a counterattack against your mothership. Jasek's last words are your name, uttered as a curse, like a curse consumed by a ball of fire. It seemed at first like that was the same epilogue, but clearly not. So, like I said, we have passwords to get past the first and second force fields. These are all in the game, in the pause menu, if you look for them. After you hit each checkpoint, you get a new password in the start menu. But, like, that's a lot to keep track of. Now I will destroy the bug heads. Because they got me last time. I no longer trust them. Their compliance. We can take down the towers for free, except not. What shot me there? Something was shooting me from the front, and the only thing in front of me was one of the towers. So maybe the towers developed weaponry so as to counteract our attempts to destroy them. Maybe I should break the towers more quickly then. Like so. Something is still shooting me in the face, somehow. Lock on, please. Okay. The tower gone. More things shoot me in the face that I don't know what they are. Should just be this one tower left. Yeah, no more towers, so we ascend. Ooh, looking at the sky is rough. So rough that my plane flipped around on its own. So it didn't have to see it anymore. Sending hurtling back towards the ground, but I'm gonna loop around, look at the tower, head on up. Okay. Force field remains. What is maintaining this thing? These towers here. Now I shouldn't have as many resources as I do, because every time I die I respawn with full ammunition again. So I'm able to use much more swarmers than would otherwise be available to me. And I regret nothing. This is a hard game and I'm not good at it. It's honestly not that hard of a game, but it's certainly not an easy game. Far from it. I thought I saw maybe a shield orb on one of the platforms where the shields are located, like the shield towers. But whatever. Just use my remaining armor to explode. Is that my last life? Gotta wait for my plane to crash to the ground a mile below. But I do have another life. Where's it gonna leave me? Right here, with some towers destroyed. Zoom on out. And further up. I don't think we actually skipped any of the shield layers. The way I anticipated would happen. Because the checkpoint loaded. Oh. What is up here? That is everything reloaded. Pretty cool. It's like that Mega Man pickup. Gives you full ammo on everything. What am I shooting at here? There's like an arm sticking out of the tower that I feel like is probably capable of punching me. Given what I know about video games. Yeah, it's trying to punch me. Only fire forward. Not anymore. Let's see what happens when I break all these things. As usual, not great indication of what is going on and what should be going on. I somehow got shot in the face again. Let's see. There's a weirdly organic nature to a lot of what is demonstrated throughout this game. Might cause this central thing to change a little bit? Maybe not. What am I missing? Let's see. I have no radar to tell me what I might be missing. Not that it would. Ah. The mouth is open now. So I'm gonna move away, swerve back around, carefully, fly into the mouth. There's the last canister.
So, it has come to this. Two small men with their puny weapons stand between me and this insignificant speck of a world. None of you comprehend what you face. I have unlocked the secret of Red Mercury. I alone understand its power. I am one with it. It flows through my veins and fills me with the fury of a god by its might. I am rightful ruler of the earth. Yet, you all defy. Your paltry weapons, your pathetic armies. I will show you the face of true power. I will destroy you all.
What is this thing? It's the giggle monster. Creel can't stop laughing once he sees it, and I kind of agree. So, giggle monster, you've chosen violence. It is really hard to tell what to even do. No longer am I doing anything. I am dead. So I think we're on the last checkpoint of the game. And this is a little recap of the cutscene we just saw. Maniacal laughter. He definitely did a Tim and Eric face for a second there. For one brief shot. The storm rages as your lifeless body is pried from the wreckage. This is where our head gets resurrected? Yes. They either cook us or enslave our head. So, I think for a lot of his unhinged rant, his eyes were crossed. It's hard to tell with the low resolution, but even as low as the resolution is, you can clearly see that the prosthesis on his head is of an incredibly low quality. Looks like trash. Try shooting out this eyeball as it spawns bats from its head. These lasers. What am I even supposed to do about the lasers? I think they just destroy my shields pretty much automatically. I can barely move now. I've knocked off some of the spider tentacles. We'll eject, but we still have to watch the ship crash all the way to the ground. Tower energizing. That's disturbing.
You guys okay?
I don't know what that tooltip meant. It was still locking onto the eye that I've exploded. Oh, there we go. Sorry, but if you made it this far through all the flashing, you expect horrible visual effects. I try to avoid them, but at this point it's unavoidable. We're in the Stormland. Okay, knocked out both eyeballs. The laser seems proximity-based. So I'm flying away now. Trying to get the tiniest bit of shields back. There's so many shots. What am I meant to do? Dive bomb him. Let's see. I'm down. I think that was my last life. This is, challenging. Yeah. Know all about your deal. That was definitely the getting eaten ending. Let's see if I can figure this out. Face to face with Creel. His face is a weird lizard thing with spider arms, though. So I don't know what to make of that. Zoom out again. Something is shooting me in the back. Real viciously. There's a purple dot somewhere in front of me. That usually indicates a boss. So this is chaos. I have very, very little control over what's going on right now. Understand it a little better from third-person view. Ultimate lag. I think my ship exploded in air from so much damage. Yeah, there are definitely Creel ships floating around, but there's also, like, stuff just coming from nowhere to get me. Here come some bats. Bats with bee stingers. Crash right into the mouth. That is another gigantic failure. Do I need to look up how to beat this? There's currently too much coming at me. I'll try being careful. And flying, like, really, really far away from the head. No cutscene when we load in. So, afterburner's on. Flying away, I escaped the electricity lasers. Look at the cluster on the map that indicates Creel and every individual shot he's firing. That's what I'm up against. So far I've been trying to focus down the boss. I have no idea if that's actually viable. But if I do bombing runs, I might at least be able to dump my entire payload. And if that doesn't kill him, like, what am I even supposed to do? Tower energizing is still distressing. A lot of my shots missed there. This lock-on didn't feel like locking on. Okay, I reached the edge of the map. Oh, he recharged. That's what tower energizing means. Now we know. Down we go. It's impressive that this battle area is so large and so high up in the sky.
You guys okay?
But the way deaths work, it's also incredibly inconvenient. Killed me immediately. Because I started right in front of him, and he immediately fired lasers. So, this time, we zoom out. We fly over him, I guess. I was going to attempt an Immelman maneuver. But I was in VTOL mode because I started out not moving. Shots coming in from every single possible direction. Like, I can't even outrun them. This is pretty rough stuff. I'm gonna double check something real quick. Oh, Creel's horrible storm thing. This was a different ending, somehow. I guess dying when he's plugged into the tower itself had a different epilogue. Let's see. Still on granny difficulty. That is unbelievable. I'm taking my entire health bar instantaneously. How could they possibly make it so higher damage values even exist? But they did. There's higher than all your health at once somehow. Rough stuff, SingleTrac. There we go. If I immediately swerve off to the right, like strafe in either direction, that breaks me far enough away to avoid the lasers. I'm gonna blow up these bats. Try at least. Bats keep getting too close for my lock-on to work. Yeah, every time I turn to face a bat, it is already right on my case, so I can't lock onto it. So, I'm at full afterburners, by the way. This is the highest possible speed I can achieve in this vehicle. And the bats are faster. Apparently much faster. Anytime I get close, he seems to just be doing constant lightning lasers, which wipe out your entire shield instantly. There's the edge of the map. And there's the boss. There's the lightning lasers. Yeah, my shield exploded immediately. And the boss keeps recharging. Also, guess what? That game FAQs thing that I looked up earlier, it ended at the Volcano level. It had no information about the ensuing levels, so I cannot use that to know what to do about this boss. And as far as I can tell, it was the only FAQ on game FAQs, so the only way to, like, figure out what to do would be to watch someone else's full playthrough of the game at this point. And just try and figure out what is even going on. So the boss is too far away to hit here. Not the bats, though. I'm going for the bats. It doesn't matter. I'm dead already. The second I stop, I die. So, this is sort of unwinnable.
I barely got you guys. Prepare for immediate reinsertion.
Yeah, one of the alternate endings is to eject into the boss's mouth. But that is more difficult than just fighting the boss. That is why we've been able to eject at any time throughout the entire game. It's for the sake of this one alternate ending against the final boss. I'm not even sure the bats are destructible, because I've shot them straight on with my most powerful weapons. And I've never seen a bat die yet. Bats are right on my case. Shoot me in the back. And I'm dead instantly. So this is unwinnable. I'm going to have to look up how to beat this boss and come back to it later. Because it is a PS1 end boss. And Creel is the rightful owner of the world. Or something. So technically that is an alternate ending. Losing to the boss and getting that cutscene where Creel wins is one of the alternate endings. So we have seen an ending of WarHawk. A very disappointing ending. I'll give one shot at ejecting into the mouth. But I don't think it is doable without a lot of practice. Let us see. Cockpit ejected. Something's happening. Okay, I died. Unsurprisingly. I think the mouth has to be open at a certain phase of the fight. So yeah, as suspected, this is also impossible at the moment, given the amount of information I have at my disposal. So we saw the worst ending of WarHawk. God, this thing went out of control. I started out saying it was pretty normal, but no longer. Creel's horrible storm-shrouded domain fades into the reassuring light of the transporter. Walker, face bloodied from pieces of the shattered canopy, smiles with relief. His feeling of reassurance is short-lived, as the remains of the canopy are ripped open by Creel's soldiers. Having captured the Icarus only minutes earlier, the troops take the two officers prisoner. With them, the world's final hope is lost. Thank you for watching WarHawk. This is a ridiculous video game. Impossibly ambitious and impossible to play. It's just too damn hard. So that is my blind run. There's a good chance I will come back to it and try and practice it, then show off a successful run where we get any of the alternate endings besides the worst possible ending. But it is generous of them to give you a really, really bad ending if you just die. We're gonna see a lot of familiar names here in the credits because a lot of the people who worked on this game also worked on Twisted Metal. We have a request to return to this game. It can be beaten in like well under an hour. Same is true of every Twisted Metal game, though, and I don't do that, so I can definitely shave it down quite a bit. But I'm glad I finally got to show it off after talking about it and being aware of it for so long. Really fascinating game, really, really well-made game. Just impossible spike in difficulty right at the end. I really had it under control until we got to the final boss. Here's our live-action actors. They actually made it into the game, so they get credited. Hey, Bruce Cochran was in there. After being the namesake of a Twisted Metal character for so long. So it's really cool to check out these Twisted Metal adjacent games. This one has so much history and so much tie-in with Twisted Metal, despite the fact that the actual people playing the games, do not want to remember this game and don't care that the developers keep shoving it down our throats throughout the entire Twisted Metal series. I have finally been made to care. And I'm glad I checked out the game. Hope you've enjoyed checking it out with me. Horribly sorry about all the horrible visual effects, but there's nothing I can do about that. Early PS1 game. This era of video games is unfortunately very, very unsafe for the majority of viewers. But good stuff. There's more to love about this game than not.
I should have been a dentist like my mother told me.
More sarcasm from our lovable heroes. And preview of another great game. Although this game came out 5 days later, so this is a post view of Twisted Metal. Just in case you're worried about how much of a tie-in there was. Look, Sweet Tooth is in this video game. Therefore, this too is a Twisted Metal game. Giving me further justification for showing it off. But this is just the demo scene from the Twisted Metal title screen. And the gameplay is not very good. Makes me look good at this game. Had to show a first-person view, which is also unplayable. There's a first-person Mr. Grimm. People were curious about that earlier this week. Can't blame them. I think this is actually a longer intro sequence than the one that's actually in Twisted Metal. And that title, logo is different from the one that's actually in the game. So there we go. We learned the tiniest bit about Twisted Metal itself from WarHawk. Again, cool game. Might revisit it someday, but for now, it is at its conclusion. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.